Hey everybody, welcome to our first ArtistWorks Instructor Spotlight series. This week we're featuring Paul Gilbert, and we're going to be doing a bunch of these coming up. So we're highlighting a different ArtistWorks instructor for a week at a time, culminating in a live stream for the next couple weeks. So please stay tuned to the channel. If you haven't added us or subscribed, please go ahead and do that, and we'll just keep you up to speed on what's coming your way. So with a new year upon us, it's a chance to reboot our approach to getting better at our instruments. So for this week, Paul is going to take over the topic, picking tones now. So welcome, Paul.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks, Marcus. Welcome to my studio. It's here in Portland. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for a while, and I'm ready to talk about picking tones. Can I do it? Am I ready to just...
The floor is all yours, Paul. Take it away.
Passionately go on my mission. All right. Well, hello, everybody out there. Let me press one button. All right. So I have an online guitar school at ArtistWorks where people send me videos and I reply to them with a custom-made video. And after I do that, I make it, my videos have a title. So some of them have picking in the title. Some of them might have other things, song titles, whatever technique I'm working on. And I used the search button the other day and I put in the word picking, and 1,000 videos came up that I have done already in my 15 years at the school. And I looked at about the most recent 50 of them and picked my favorites. And those, you might have seen them, on the Instagram where, I played a short phrase. And the thing about these is, this morning I'm going to use them to warm up because I've barely played guitar at all today. And I think these are really good because after I picked them out, I picked them out because I like them. And so, I started playing them every day. And after I did, I found these are great warm-ups. So I remember the first one, which is like, now it's 16th notes. And again, the trick is to contrast the tone. So it's not just like, I got to play it as fast as I can, BPM, whatever. I want to make sure that I'm able to contrast, a nice sneaky crunch, or like a sneaky muted sound where my hands next to the bridge saddle. And I'm going to contrast that with like, I still don't know whether it's called a pinch harmonic or a pick harmonic. You probably know what I mean. You use the pick to pinch. I can't do that without making a guitar face. So it's a really different emotion that you get, whether it's that sneaky or that. So here's the challenge, is to play it slow enough where you're able to hear the detail of those tones, and also slow enough where if something is wrong with the details, you're able to make an adjustment to get it right. If you're playing it as fast as you can, it's impossible to make those adjustments. A lot of times already hear it. So I'm going to play it slow enough where I can hear the details. So, and just so you know, on the floor, that's my foot hitting something that makes a sound, So I've got control of that, and I'm going to do that so you can hear at the time. A one, a two, a one, a two, a three. Now right there, I'm playing whisper quiet. I'm playing as quiet as I can, and I've got a ton of distortion. So there's a really big tone difference. If I hit it hard, I don't really like, there might be a part of the song where that's the right thing to do, but in general, I kind of like that sneaky. Now, I need a lot of distortion in order to hear those details. If I have a clean tone or an acoustic guitar, I probably wouldn't even be able to hear it at all. So that's the nice thing about distortion, is you can really dial in your tone. Now, let's say it's not what you want, and you're like, it doesn't sound right. What do you do? I think a big part of it is the pick angle. Now, I've been on a journey with this. Look at my thumb and how it's sort of, bent up like that. Maybe that's convex, where that would be concave. And that changes that'll change the tone a lot if I have like this. It's hard to get that scratchy, quiet sound like this, or if I have it this way. So you can experiment with that. Another thing is the pick itself. If it's a really thick one, sometimes it's hard to get different tones out of it. At least that's my experience. I mean, if you can get it, you can get it. But I've got a 0.73 millimeter, which is sort of medium. And that one I found really good for getting different tones. And sneaky, or are there more than 2 tones? Those are probably my 2 favorites. The other one, I guess, would be no effect at all. Just and depending on where you are on the horizontal plane. And if you have a clean sound, that might be bring out different tones. So you're really just searching for a good sound, tone in the hands, as they say. So that's one. Now, eventually, of course, you may want to speed it up. And the only problem about playing slow is that anything will work in terms of upstrokes and downstrokes. You can play all down, and it's all right because it's slow, and at that tempo it'll work. But as it gets quicker, that's where the alternate picking is going to benefit you. And now, at that faster tempo, can we still control the tone? That is, can you tell what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you that's enjoyable, to get that variety of sound. Excuse me. So the other thing that is maybe something that I do that you may not have tried is the emu, where you use 2 fingers and the thumb, and it gives you a lot of skin on the pick. And when I first started playing guitar, I actually did hold it back like that, and I really struggled with tone. Finally I found some amp that would kind of do it, but it was really hard. So I watched other people. So I don't know where that came from. And I started angling it forward, and even with 2 fingers, I call it the emu because it looks like a bird. You can still angle it forward, and I found, especially for the pick harmonic, that just something about holding with the 2 fingers allows me to get those pinched harmonics in that rock phase. It seems to come out easier that way, so it's worth a try. All right, so that's the first one. Let me play it a little bit. 1, 2, 3. I'm having a competition with myself to see how lightly I can pick. I turn the volume down a little bit. In contrast, that. Distortion. Now, I truly believe if your goal is to do like all that stuff, that this work, is it work really? This enjoyable time spent with the tones will benefit your fast stuff as well. That's my belief. You can practice it and see if it's true. All right, so that's now I did 5 examples over the week. I'm going to listen to the other one and see what it is. Okay, I just had to remind myself. So this is triplets. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is a good example of another picking improvement technique I've come up with, and it works almost every time. And that is, if something's going awry with my picking and it's just not working right, a lot of times I'll shift my focus to the left hand. And this one in particular has one part that's challenging for me, And that, I'm playing, these little 3-note phrases, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the bass note goes down, little scale. And then this part. Now that's on 2 different strings. And my first finger is tempted to stay down. But if I keep it down, it tends to get blurry. It's going to ring into each other. So I have to tell my left hand, don't hold the string. Every time you got to lift up. And that, I didn't know that the first time through, and I was, you could blame the right hand, you're not clean enough. It wasn't the right hand, it's the left hand. So when in doubt, take a look at the left hand. And again, play it slow enough where you can hear the details and make adjustments if they need it. So let's do that. Let's do, again, the sneaky quiet one. Full distortion. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, when you play it that slow, sometimes the timing is almost a little more difficult to hold together. That's what I'm experiencing, and that's good to practice. How solid can I keep that time at that slower tempo? Because really, I'm playing alternate picking. I'm sort of in a gear that lends itself to being faster. That feels a little more like I'm in, I'm going the right speed for that gear. So if I'm in the fast gear going slow, that takes more control. And this is where you can really hear the details of the string noise, if there is. I was pretty happy with being able to control that. And the tones. Now, anytime you work on this, you might go, "What about an octave higher?" Because that's going to be on the maybe the strings that aren't wrapped, and they'll have a different tone. And a different shape too. I got to get used to that. That's a nice one. You could even, and when you're on a higher octave, you could also try different fingering, like the one on the D string. This is how you get to know the neck. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got. This one, a nice chunky 16th note. Now here, again, I just contrasted 2 things. I don't know if you realized it. I did one with a traditional, hold the pick between the thumb and first finger. And I also did one with the emu. In this case, I liked the traditional sound better because I could tell it was a little more scratchy. Again, I'm trying to hit it light. Just whisper quiet, and then that takes more control than if I hit it, And you're only going to discover that with a distorted guitar. On an acoustic guitar, you probably want to hit everything loud just to try to be heard over the drummer. But with electric, it's a lot more about developing your tone by not hitting as hard, and doing some muting on the bridge. Now this one's got a lot of open string in it, and it's so resonant. That's a big bongy note. So to control that, you really got to have a light touch. So let's develop that when slow enough where you can hear what you're doing and make adjustments. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, when you want to, open it up. What about an octave higher? Would that work? Harmonics. A little quicker. I want to mention something about these phrases and why I invented them and why I chose them. I really try to get stuff that is fairly indestructible. Where I'm not worried like, okay, I need 16 takes to get it right. And there are looks like that. There's plenty of stuff that if I have 16 tries, I can probably get one good take. And I've done that before, and I and live to regret it. I really, especially when teaching, I don't want to give an assignment to a student, where I spent, 20 tries and then should give them the video like, oh yeah, I can do this every time. I really try to have stuff that I've got the proof, one take, and you can get it because it's built to be relatively easy to play. And that's the trick of being able to play something fast. If something's hard to play, good luck playing it fast. So this stuff, if you put the time in, listen hard, it's all playable. Let's see what the next one is. Yeah. Now this is a good example of one of the challenges of picking is to go from one string to the next. The 16th notes, like 1, 2, I buckle my shoe. And I'm not trying to go as fast as I possibly can. I'm trying to keep a steady rhythm and control the tone. Now I might start with this with a little less distortion just to get the hang of it. Now this is the tricky thing about this is it's 16th notes, which is 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That's the division of time, but it's a 3-note phrase, which could feel like a triplet depending on how you phrase it. But I'm going to phrase it as a 16th note, so I've got. You can hear that 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And the phrase, dun, 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 it's basically just that repeating 1 A and 2 C's. But when you have a 3-note phrase in a 16th note pattern, what happens is the picking turns upside down every time. And that takes some getting used to. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you start with a downstroke and do alternate picking, that's what it is, down, up, down. The next one ends up being up, down, up, or I'm sorry, up, down, up. Yeah, so the picking for the first one is the exact opposite as the picking of the next one, and it keeps going back and forth like that. Now, one way to get the hang of that, where you're not confusing your hands, is to kind of have almost a strum that you're feeling like. And I do that by trying to have a slightly larger body motion, which I get from my shoulder. So if I'm going, that I can physically feel that. I can feel that groove, almost if I was going like, if I get into that groove and then just tighten it up on one string. So I'm not using my wrist that much. I'm not using my thumb to move the pick. I'm kind of using my shoulder a bit. I hope you're watching this area and how this is kind of moving back. Almost, if you're a lumberjack and you're sawing a tree in half, that's it. And also, the problem with using the thumb is you lose tone control. The thumb is such a good tone control, because you can angle the pick slightly to adjust your tones. And so this allows you to keep your thumb wherever it needs to be to get the best tone. And you get you move from string to string with the shoulder. So it really feels kind of like strumming, but you're in order to cross over from string to string. The one other benefit, I had no idea until recently that I was doing this, but it not only moves the pick, it moves something else, something very important. I'm going to tell you what it is. The mute. The mute moves as well. Now, if you only use the thumb, the mute's not moving. You know, this is just staying right where it is. But if you use your arm, then the mute, and it often goes to a place that's very beneficial. Not either to control the tone, like we've been talking about, or to control the string noise. So you can watch. Another thing that I watch when I watch myself or students when they pick is this bottom of the finger right here, just to see where it's traveling. You know, if it's staying in one place and the student's trying to get everything out of the thumb, and you can see that's not moving, or if they're able to move it, which means that the mute is moving. And this, when I do that scale at the end, I'm keeping it very muted for the tone. 1, 2, 3, 4. What about pick harmonic? That's just fun to do. Okay, let's go. We're at the last one now, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this one, I had to practice this one a bit because it was a brand new one. I just did it because it was fun to have something new. So this one, let's see. It's almost like a pedal tone lick, but instead of a single note pedal, it's a 2-note pedal. So that is the answer to each note in the E minor blues scale, because I'm basically playing E minor blues. And after each note, I've got ba-da. And this has a swing to it, which I also think is really valuable to developing your picking tone, because a swing, to feel right, requires some dynamics. You don't want every note to be the same volume. So, something like that. What about an octave higher? Now that one I wasn't quite as dynamic because I got excited about the higher string than I just wanted them to sing out. But what if the band comes down? You know, what if the dynamics of the song changes? All right. So those are the 5. I feel warmed up, and I'm ready for it now. Now, like I said, this is from after doing 1,000 various picking phrases that I've invented for my students over the years. But even since last week, I've come up with more, and I'm going to listen to this one. I kind of like this one I came up with in that last week. Let's hear it. 2, 4. Yeah, so this one is kind of a long one, but let's listen to it. Yeah, this is really good for being able to cross from string to string. The very first 2 notes, you have to skip a string, a downstroke, and then an upstroke. You know, you have to go from the 5th string to the 3rd string. So, right there, that's a great picking exercise. And And I might, again, anytime I've got to do a big string cross or even a little one, I'm using that little turbo boost of my shoulder very often. Or pick harmonics. Turn up the volume. See if I can do it quieter. If I can, I'll slow it down. Now, I'm really, I'm giving the student a nice challenge on this one, because like that phrase there, that's a picking emergency. There's no way to do that with hammer runs and pull-offs when you have multiple pick notes that are the same note. A lot of pick stuff, you don't need to pick it. You know, if you have something like that 5-note phrase, you know, if I picked all that, that'd be about my maximum speed where I feel comfortable. If I add, you know, if I change it to be pull-offs, I'm picking enough where there's some teeth to it, but I can get that way quicker. So that one's not a picking emergency, and that's often, most of my fast stuff is like that, where it's a combination of the two things. But all these things we're talking about today will really develop your picking tone, and that will travel into your picking speed, and you'll carry with you good tone in your hands. So let's hear this one more time. It was a cool one. So it's got a lot of the whenever you have, picking a note more than once, that's a picking emergency. There's no way around that. You gotta pick it. And that thing at the end, again, that's like a 3-note phrase, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, in a 16th note. So every time it's going to reverse itself. Which, in the solution, I'm just telling you the same thing again because it's important. If you just get that groove that you would get from strumming, focus it in there. One more time because I like it. 1, 2, 3, 1. Well, I got to get back to the B. Oh, that if you can find practice stuff that makes you go, oh, because you're having such a good time, that's I recommend it. And when you come to the school, that's my goal for the students. I don't care if you follow the path exactly. I just want the guitar in your hands, having a great time, and chances are that will lead to some good success. I've got one more for you today. Let's hear it. This is another one I came up with last week. I gave to a student. It's all about tone, and it's about one more thing I forgot to mention. The brakes. It's my car metaphor. Picking is the gas pedal. You're going to need brakes at some point. and here's the brakes. You got to be able to stop the noise. Both hands can do it. If you can use these fingers, or you can, or whatever you've got here, just put it down on the string. You're probably hearing me say that and going like, you have to tell me this? I do. Because it's a big little thing a lot of guitar players forget to do. They think, okay, I played the note, and it's to intentionally stop it, and that's what I did here. Now you don't even need the left hand. I mean, actually, you do need a left hand because it's going to help to control the other 5 strings with this much distortion. Now I've got an intentional rhythm. Bop, 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 bop. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Now the student will get bored, so will I if that's all we do. So I took that same rhythm and made a little down, do, 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 bow, da, 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 like kind of cool bass line. And back to E. And just listen to how I've got the brakes on everything. As soon as I hit it, I stop it. Also, I mean, that was pick harmonics. Try it with muting. That's full distortion. That's challenging to keep it from, that's cool too. That's you have 3 different tones. Big and open. So there it is. I hopefully, whenever I talk about picking, I know that I have, what do you call it, a reputation, a history, a legacy of my earlier instructional videos where everything's 3 notes per string and going up and down scales as fast as you possibly can. My current feeling about those is those kind of licks are great for instructional videos. It's sort of become this little world of, like, if you want to do an instructional video, play these scales up and down, and I have to admit, when I first learned how to do that, I was excited because I never thought I'd be able to, and so I was like, wow, I can play fast scales up and down. I wrote a couple albums worth of material that has that stuff, and but I because the videos that I did were kind of a starting point, that's what I have to warn you against. I don't think that's a good starting point. It wasn't for me. I didn't go, okay, here, how do you play the guitar? Let me, that's my, where I'll start. And so from having a lot of experience as a teacher and a player, I think the things I gave you today, where you work on your tones and it's enjoyable and it sounds good at any speed. That's the thing. It's not like, it's not going to be any good until I get the metronome at 10 zillion. It's like your boat will float in the water right away. And that's good, because your drummer will like you and the audience will clap and you'll just have a good time when you're playing on your own as well. So that's my story. I'm going to bring Marcus back on. After this, we're going to, I think, go to the people who have signed up at my school. And if you want to sign up right now, you can continue. And I hope you sign up and we'll do 1,000 more picking lessons at my school, plus every other subject imaginable. Marcus, take it away.
Right on. Thanks so much, Paul. This was so much fun to watch. Really appreciate you being here today and doing this. So as Paul mentioned, over the course of the week, we've been taking ArtistWorks student questions for Paul. So we kind of picked a topic for the week, the picking thing. And next up, we're going to film a private video masterclass that's exclusive for his online students. Paul's going to answer all those questions, address demonstrations, that whole thing. And we'd love to have you join his rock guitar community at ArtistWorks if you're interested. We welcome you with open arms. It doesn't matter what level player you are. If you just bought your guitar or you're super advanced, Paul can get you to the next level from there. And, it's really fun. It's active. It's an online guitar community. Everybody there with the same goal to get better at their instruments. Hundreds of lessons. There's tabs. Over 15,000 video exchanges that Paul has done with his students. So there's just an endless treasure trove of information and demonstrations and licks and cool stuff to dig into. And you can get direct access to Paul. So you can send him videos of your playing and get personal feedback on exactly what you need. So check out the links in the description to check out some free samples or to dive right in. This whole artist spotlight series is just the beginning of it. Next week, we're going to have Noah Dresner doing flamenco guitar rhythms. So please join us for that. And like and subscribe to the channel if you want to just be kept up to speed with the next streams coming your way. And that's it from us. Thanks so much for joining us today. And we hope to see you online. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
See you guys.